Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to look at two of my most rarest devices in my UMPC netbook collection. And on bottom we have the Toshiba Libretto W100, and on top we have the Onkyo DX. Both of these models are extremely rare, extremely unique devices. So it's been a few years since I've shown both of them in a video. So I want to do another video now just to give you guys kind of an overview. I know most of you have probably never heard of or seen these devices. They are extremely rare. But I do want to show them off because they are also very, very unique and probably the prized jewels in my netbook slash computer collection, I guess you could say. Alright, so this, you can see the size of the devices are very different. The Libretto obviously much smaller than the Onkyo DX. The DX is a 10-inch netbook, right? This is pretty much the standard netbook size, 10 inches, whereas the Libretto is actually a 7-inch computer. So this is more of a UMPC size. So let's actually look at the Libretto first. Alright, so this is the Toshiba Libretto W100. It is actually the last Toshiba Libretto device. The Libretto devices were a series of sub notebooks or handheld PCs that Toshiba released. This is the very last one, the W100. It released in 2010, so roughly 10 years ago, and it was a limited edition model. It's only available for a short time. So there is English and Japanese versions. This is the rare English version, and I got this one on Amazon, I think back in 2015, and I had to pay $700 for it. So yeah, this is definitely kind of like a collector's piece, right? It's like a showpiece basically. Very, very rare limited edition netbook. So, or some notebook, whatever you want to call it, UMPC is also fine. This is a 7-incher. So very, very interesting computer. I think not many of them are available out there. So I do want to show this computer off because it is pretty unique and pretty special. So first of all, I think this might be my only Toshiba device. I don't even have many Toshiba devices. They don't even make many computers anymore. Now it's basically called Dynabook now. So Dynabook has basically taken over, and they're basically making a lot of the old Toshiba models and kind of adding some new specs and stuff, but there's really nothing special. Toshiba is basically way past their heyday, right? They used to be a huge computer maker. Now you don't really see any Toshiba computers around anymore. Anyways, let's just look at this device. I'm going to tell you the specs of this device. It is a very, I think, expensive model when it came out, but it's also expensive even years later because it took me a while to find this model, and even then I still had to pay like $700 for it. Okay, so this runs an Intel Pentium U5400 1.2 gigahertz. I believe that is a dual core processor. It has 2 gigs of RAM, which is, you know, pretty standard for netbook UMPC back then. And it's got a 7-inch display. And what's unique about the display? Well, let me show you that a little bit later. Let's look at the exterior first. Alright, so on the front of the device you get a micro SD card slot right here. It's a flap, so you can just lift out the flap, and there it is, the micro SD card slot. Now this is actually kind of interesting because back in those days, in 2010, it was more common to have a full-size SD card slot than a micro SD card slot. So this had a micro SD card slot like way before it became popular in laptops, right? Now most laptops have micro SD card slots. This is way before that. Like, it's probably a downside back then, right? Because most people had full-size SDs. Alright, then on the left side you have a headphone jack and a full-size USB 2 port. Then on the right side you just have the AC adapter port, and that's pretty much it. And you have the Wi-Fi indicator right here as well. Yep. So AC adapter port, Wi-Fi indicator here, right there, and that's it. Nothing on the back. And on the bottom here you have a removable battery. So a lot of computers and netbooks, even UMPCs back then, had removable batteries, so you can just slide this off like here. Let's see. Yep, you can slide it off just like this. Whoops. Oops. Right, so on the bottom you have this lock for the battery, so you gotta unlock it and then you can slide it off like this, and the battery just comes out. So most UMPCs and laptops and computers back then actually had removable batteries, and that's something that I really miss nowadays, right? Because nowadays, most computers, pretty much every laptop just has a built-in battery. Even the business laptops, like the ThinkPads, you can't even remove the battery anymore. So it's really nice to have that. Alright, so like I said, there's something special about the display. That's because when you open it up, look at that. It's a dual screen display, right? It's a laptop with a dual screen display way back in 2010, right? This is 10 years before the Microsoft Surface Duo, 10 years, before the what is it, the new Lenovo ThinkPad Fold. This is way before anyone else has tried something like this, right? I think the only other computer that had it at the time was the Acer Iconia 6120, I believe, and that was a bigger computer. This one is 7 inches, so it's smaller, and pretty much I think this and the Acer were the only computers that had that, and both of those computers are pretty rare to find today. The Toshiba probably even more rare actually than out of the two. So yeah, this is way before the Lenovo Yoga Book, way before any other computer has tried something like this. So yeah, it is a dual screen laptop from 2010. How about that, right? That's very, very interesting. And this is even more interesting because the fact that it runs Windows 7, right? So you might be wondering, even dual screen devices like the Surface Duo right now don't work very well. The Surface Neo, when it comes out, it's going to run a custom version of Windows called Windows 10X, I think. So how is Toshiba making this work with Windows 7, right? That's pretty interesting. In an Intel Pentium processor, right? Pretty interesting. So the power button is actually up here. So I'm going to press power. And you guys can see just how unique this computer is. This is running a custom version of Windows 7, by the way. So I think that's how they're able to do this. I'm not going to review the keyboard on this computer because there is no physical keyboard on this computer. But I will show you guys the different keyboard modes of this computer. It's all pretty interesting. Alright, so this is a touch screen. So I can just click on this. And here we go. Alright. So look at this. Wow. Doesn't this look unique? Yes, this is a custom version of Windows 7. And I know there's flickering on the screen, but that's only in the camera. It actually does not exist in real life. So sorry about the flickering. That's actually not an issue in reality. So yeah, this is such a unique computer, right? First of all, it can fold down flat like this. Yeah, 180 degrees. So really this is like a proto version of the Surface Duo, isn't it? Or this upcoming Surface Neo, but this is way before any of those computers came out. So yeah, both of these are touchscreens, and this one at the bottom is mostly used for the keyboard, but also has kind of like a Mac OS like dock down here. So you see this dock right here? This is a custom skin for Windows 7, but it looks like a Mac OS X dock. Kind of looks like that, right? So anyways, I can actually connect to the internet. Let me do that. And up here you have some custom widgets here. You can see the hard drive, the uptime, the CPU, the RAM. This is all custom stuff. You guys can see that better. Yep, so this is a TFT display too, so you gotta look on it head on. It's not an IPS display. But yeah, those are like the custom widgets and stuff that are on this computer. So Toshiba put a very, very custom version of Windows 7 on this computer. Alright, so let's investigate some of the dock items here. So there's a few that are pretty unique to this computer, I think. Okay, these are some apps that just came with the computer, I think. So this one is GIMP. I think this is a drawing tool, right? I don't have a. I think you need a stylus for this. Don't think this computer is multi-touch. Yeah, definitely need a stylus for it. And then it's running a Pentium dual core, so it is a little bit slow. Of course, the dual core is faster than an Intel Atom, so that's at least it's faster than Intel Atom, right? And that's where a lot of UMPCs and netbooks ran back then. So at least it's better than that. So this is a custom version of GIMP, I guess. So it has the canvas, I guess, on top, and then you have the brushes and stuff underneath. So this is like a custom version of GIMP. Okay, so that's that app, and then you have this ink app, which I don't really know what it is either. So let's check that out. It's a lot of these are like custom apps for this computer. And yeah, it takes a while. So yeah, Pentium dual core is still kind of slow. Okay, so this is just Paint, I think. It looks like just Paint. Doesn't look like anything more than that. So close it. And then this is Scribus. Interesting. Desktop publishing. So both of these screens are 7-inch touch displays. Like I mentioned, they're TFT displays, which means you got to view them head on. And this is the power button actually down here. So you know, you wonder how to shut off the computer, right? Well, you have to press this power button down here. See, it's just all it is a shortcut to shut down Windows. And then this is Capture Desktop. So I think this is a screenshot application tool. So there's that. And then, oh nope, this is just hitting the Windows menu. So this actually brings down the Windows menu, which is actually hidden up here. So there's actually a custom start menu up here, so it's mostly hidden, but you can activate it by hitting that Windows menu. So you can see there's all the tools up here. I just connected it to Wi-Fi, but there's basically your start menu and toolbar up there. So it is there, it's just kind of hidden, and then you just got to press the Windows kind of shortcut key there, but it's all there. Alright, so yeah, this is a pretty unique computer. Since I can actually connect to the internet, I wonder if I can actually watch YouTube. Maybe not. This computer might not be powerful enough, but we can try, right? So I have a Firefox open here. On the bottom, I can actually drag it to the top. So just like today's dual screen devices, right? We have the LG Velvet and the Surface Duo and the Galaxy Fold and the LG Wing, right? We have all these cool dual screen devices. Well, Toshiba Libretto was doing dual screen before it was cool, okay? 10 years before it was cool. So you can drag different screens, you know, to the bottom or the top, and you pull down from the top, right, to get the menu up here. It's funny because you can actually scroll like this. It's not multi-touch, okay? There's no multi-touch going on. It's actually using the Windows tablet PC gestures. So this is using like tablet PC gestures to do this. So it's really interesting. This is like what they would use for pens, right? When back in university, like in 2007, I had a Gateway CX2724 convertible tablet PC, and it used an Intreg pen. And I could do this as well, but it's like this, right? It's like not smooth because it's using the tablet PC gestures to navigate. It's not multi-touch. So there's no multi-touch going on here. So this is basically how you would do touchscreen devices before multi-touch on computers, right? So keyboard. Okay, let's look at the keyboard. So there's a dedicated keyboard button right here. So you can press this and it actually launches the keyboard down here. And this is the home button. So you can press this, it'll get rid of the keyboard. So the keyboard here, we can actually swap between different keyboards, okay? So this is the standard keyboard, but we can actually swap. So if I don't like this keyboard style, we can have a more expanded one. I can swap again, and this will be like a split keyboard a la the Samsung Q1, right? Another split keyboard mode, and then a numpad mode as well. So there's a bunch of different keyboard modes we can do, and then we can choose to have this keyboard up here. We can also have a unique space down here, so we can put in boards, tools, gadgets. We can put in widgets down here as well, so you can change your background color, pencil tool, tile, pile, archive board, restore board, gadgets, calendar, clock. So these are like widgets, right? So you can put that down here. You can have a clock down here. This is all for multitasking, right? I mean, why else do people have dual screens? So multitask. Oh, okay, got rid of that calendar. Boards, okay. So you have bulletin boards. You can change to a different bulletin board, okay. Laptop center, okay. And then you have some gadgets or apps down here. Toshiba board. This is like a post-it note board. Just keep it to this board. And you can make your own custom board too. There's a new board. So you can see my cursor, it's really like a tablet PC. Right, this is the same type of cursor a tablet PC would use. So basically it's using the tablet PC controls, like the Windows XP tablet edition, if anyone remembers that. It's basically the same controls. So somehow Toshiba made a custom skin on top of that and then made it work. So that's really interesting. So let's see, tools. Yeah, gadgets. We can put more post-it notes here. A to-do list. You can put that all here, right? We can where did that go? Oh, is this taking a screenshot? We can clip a part of the screen. We can screenshot part of the screen to clip a window. Right, you can see the screen turn dark here because it's in clipping mode. Now it turned on the webcam. So there's actually a webcam right here. So this is the webcam. So now it sees me. So yeah, I guess this actually turns on the webcam. So I'm going to deactivate this. Yes, that. Alright, what other gadgets do we have? Yep, so you see this to-do list right here. We have that here. And pin it, post-it note. Remove that post-it note here. So yeah, all sorts of things you can do with this bottom screen, right? So just like with today's dual screen devices, back then Toshiba was thinking of all sorts of ways you can use the dual screen for multitasking and stuff. So what else do we do with dual screens? Of course you want to use it for multitasking, right? You can bring up the keyboard. We're just gonna see if we can access YouTube actually. Alright, so now I'm going to try typing with the keyboard, and I can't really review like how tactile the keyboard is because it's not a physical keyboard. But I will say that there is some audio feedback from here. Like when you type, there is some clicking noise that you can hear from the audio, like that. And there's some haptic feedback as well. So this is similar to the haptic feedback that you would get from a phone if you're typing on a virtual keyboard on your phone, right? You get a little bit of vibration right under your fingers just to let you know. So there's a little bit of haptic feedback there as well. So I'm just gonna go to YouTube here. I don't think it's actually gonna play any YouTube videos because this is a netbook from 2010, so probably can't play any videos, but you can definitely go to the website, right? See, there's a YouTube website right here. You scroll with our fingers like this. Actually, let's try playing a video. Let's see if this actually works. I would actually be a little bit surprised if it works because this is using a Pentium dual core processor, so I would be a little bit surprised. Let's see if there's a way to adjust the volume. So the speakers are on full right now, which is unfortunate because you can hear that you can hear or not hear actually the audio because it's so low. It's just very hard to hear it. I mean, it actually does play at a reasonable frame rate, I guess, which is surprising to me. But you can barely hear, even though this is like full volume. I guess because the speakers are really not good on this device. You can barely hear it. So yeah, very low volume, even though I just checked and it's at full volume, so don't know what's going on here. And YouTube's at full volume, so I don't know what's going on. But I can say that I'm a little bit impressed that this computer from 2010 running a Pentium dual core processor is okay, now it's slowing down. But it's able to play modern YouTube videos, which is more than what I can say for a lot of my netbooks from back then, right? Oh, come on. So it definitely lags. Okay, there we go, finally. Yep, so at least it does play modern YouTube videos. It does lag a little bit, but at least it plays, right? A lot of my other netbooks from around this time period and UMPCs from around this time period can't even play, it can't even load YouTube. So that's actually pretty surprising. Alright, so I don't think I'll be able to open another tab because there's only 2 gigs of RAM on this computer, and we all know how Chrome eats up RAM. So let's just stick with 1 tab here. I don't think this computer can handle more than 1 tab in Chrome. Alright, let's go back to CNN. By the way, let's actually try a different keyboard layout. See what works. So, like I said, there's different keyboard layouts. This one is like an expanded one, right, with the function keys and everything. I'm going to just try these split layouts to see how they work. I'm not sure if I could use this one actually. Let's try this split layout. Yep. No, it's not bad. It's definitely better for thumb typing, right? So if we're using this for thumb typing, you'll definitely want to use a split keyboard. That's what it's built for. It's built for thumb typing. So there we go. So yeah, we should get CNN loading here. There we go. There we go. It's slow, but it loads. Alright. Okay, cool. Trump losing election. Okay. That's basically pretty modern news right there. Alright, so there's a few other interesting features about this laptop. So first of all, this laptop actually has an accelerometer. So because it's got this kind of dual screen design, it can be used, you know, as a tablet as well, and you can also use it as a ebook reader. So, you know, here I got CNN up here, but say I want to read it in portrait mode, you can actually just flip it like this, and the screen will automatically rotate because it has an accelerometer. Takes a bit of time because, you know, this is a slow computer, but it works, right? See, now I got CNN in portrait mode, right? So now, say you have like a Kindle app or something like this, or you're reading like a extra long news article or something like this, and now you can now read it in portrait mode. So that's pretty convenient as well. So you can actually use this as an ebook reader if you want to. So you can do that, and now switch back. So it's cool that this computer, this laptop or netbook actually comes with an accelerometer, and definitely that was pretty rare for the time. Alright, and lastly, for this screen down here, know that this is the Toshiba custom bulletin board. This is a custom app and custom skin that they put on Windows 7, right? So this is a custom Toshiba app that they made just for the W100. We already saw the boards, tools, and gadgets, and some other functions that we could do here. I haven't shown you guys what this bottom row does yet. So there's another bottom row here. So this keyboard button just brings up the keyboard, right? That's all it does. So here it comes. Yeah, it's the same thing as pressing this button right here. Then this one brings up a touchpad. So this is interesting. This is actually a virtual touchpad here that I can use to kind of navigate. Yeah, so this touchpad can actually be used to navigate the screen up here if you don't want to use your fingers for that screen for whatever reason. I don't know, and even has click buttons right here as well, and you can also put this one up here as well and use it for the screen down here. So there's a lot of things that you can do here. I don't know when you would ever use this virtual touchpad thing, but I mean for some reason if you don't want to touch it with your fingers, you have the option, I guess. So that's pretty interesting. And then there's the zoom feature. So this one, you can actually zoom in on any area on the display, and then it'll enlarge it for you. Alright, so now it says tap on the screen. So wherever I tap, it's just going to enlarge it. So I can tap like, see, this is a photo, so I'll tap here, for example, right? Alright, so say I'm at this CNN page, and you know, I want to enlarge an area of this page for whatever reason, right? So then I just click this, and this will say touch on the area of the screen. So it says tap on the screen, right? So I can just tap anywhere on the screen and it'll enlarge it, right? So that's basically what it does. Anywhere in the display, it'll just enlarge it. So it's basically like a zoom function. So that's what that does. And then this one here, right, if I tap on this one, it actually brings down a menu on the top here. So this is where I can lock, power plan, brightness, wireless, sleep, and hibernate. So this is a few other options that you can do. I think this is just kind of basic options, more settings that you can do. So this is just like a shortcut for more settings. And then this one, I think all this one does is, oops. Yeah, this will actually bring up a list of different windows. So right now I only have this one open. But let's say if I open like another window, so let's say if I open Windows Explorer, right? So Windows Explorer open now, and then now if I tap this, Basically it's like a tabber, right? So okay, so now I can switch between my Windows Explorer and my web browser right here. So now I can switch back. See? Now switch back. So yeah, it's a little bit clunky, but it's there. And then this is just volume, right? I can adjust the volume easily from here. I can also pull down from the top, right? And I have access to that. But I guess that's just another shortcut. And then there's 3 more shortcuts here. So this one, I think these are all special widgets or whatever. Yeah, so this one's a file browser. So it's interesting. So we can arrange our documents, music, pictures, videos, desktop downloads. Okay, so this is basically all the files here. We can manage it down here as well, I guess. So I guess that's another use for the second screen. I guess for some reason, if you want like a more visual version of Windows Explorer, you have this app right here to manage your files down here. Basically, it's just like another version of Windows Explorer, but with more visual indicators, so you can use your hands, I guess, or fingers to move files over. So that's pretty interesting. And then this clock thing. Okay, so the clock brings up our photos, I guess. So okay, so clicking the clock brings up the photos, I guess, and I guess we can change our wallpaper from here. This is kind of interesting. Okay, so might want to do that. Okay, let's say I change to this one. What happens? Does that change the wallpaper? Or is it just viewing the photos? Okay, so I guess it puts it here. Is that right? Okay, I guess it just previews the photo or something like that. That's interesting. So anyways, you can preview your photos or video. I don't have any video files. Photos, documents. Yeah, okay, I don't have much of that, just mostly photos, I guess. Okay, interesting, just like a preview. I guess it's very similar to the files. Don't know why they have both. And this pin here. Okay, this pin. Okay, I think this pin is actually for putting stuff on the dock here. So if you ever want to put like any kind of window here, you can actually move it to the dock and make it a shortcut, I guess. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And that is the extent of the custom Toshiba application right there. Very, very interesting. So again, I can't believe Toshiba actually went to the trouble of designing a custom UI interface for Windows 7 just to make this touch operating system work. But it's very, very interesting. Very unique computer. So anyways guys, that's the Toshiba W100. I hope you liked that little demo. Very rare computer, limited edition. Toshiba made like a custom applications and skin just for this computer. And I mean, just look at it. It doesn't look anything like Windows 7, right? But it's actually Windows 7, which is, it's crazy, right? If you pull down from the top, you actually get those Windows 7 icons. So it's definitely Windows 7, but they put the skin over it, put like a Mac OS X dock over it, a bunch of custom applications to make use of the dual screen design. And what can I say? It's just a really, really unique computer. So anyways, that's the Toshiba Libretto W100. Again, very, very rare. You know, somehow I managed to find one. But you normally do not see these in the wild very often. So that's it guys, that's the Toshiba Libretto W100. Again, Toshiba had this dual screen design like way before anyone else had that idea, right? Way before Microsoft. I think this was even before the Sony Tablet P, which you know was also a dual screen tablet. And I think it was before, probably around the same time as the Acer Iconia 6120. I don't have that laptop, but that's a bigger laptop. I think that's a 14-inch laptop. This is a 7-incher, so this is actually like a UMPC design with this kind of dual screen design before the Lenovo Yoga Pad. Yeah, before anyone else pretty much had this idea, the Toshiba Libretto, this was it, right? Very, very unique laptop. A dual screen UMPC, right? How crazy is that? So, that's it. And again, this interface, wow, right? Crazy. So, definitely have not seen anything like this computer, especially in this time, right? Even today, you don't really see anything like this. But especially back then, this must have blown people's minds, right? I mean, if it was actually available, right? I don't think anyone actually knew about this computer. But yeah, It's a pretty crazy design. Anyways guys, hope you enjoyed that. That was the Toshiba Libretto, and next up we're going to take a look at the Onkyo DX. Alright, so that was the Toshiba Libretto W100, and next up I have another very rare computer. This is the Onkyo DX, also from 2010, also pretty much only available in Japan. So this computer is especially unique, and okay, let's just go over what it is first. It is a netbook, so it's running low voltage CPU and only 2 gigs of memory. Actually, only 1 gig of memory, 160 gigabyte hard drive. So very low in specs, and of course, it just looks like any other netbook from the time period, right? It's got a typical, this is a 10-inch computer, so it's got a typical keyboard for the netbook. 10-inch display, right? Nothing really special about the resolution of the display. It's just a typical 10-inch TFT display there. And then this keyboard here is fairly typical of netbooks back in the day, so there's nothing really to write home about here. Just your typical netbook keyboard, which is to say it's not great. It's better than some UMPCs because it's bigger than a lot of UMPCs, but nothing to write home about here. It's just a typical netbook keyboard, not that great. And you got a tiny small trackpad here with clicky buttons, physical clicky buttons right there. Let's look at the ports. First of all, this thing weighs quite a bit. It's 3.5 to 4 pounds, I would say. Yeah, it's actually weighing quite a bit for a computer of this size. So it's not that big of a computer, but it still weighs like 3.5 pounds. And then let's look at the ports, because this is kind of a throwback. A lot of netbooks actually have a lot of ports for the size because you need a lot of ports back then. The Bluetooth keyboards and mice weren't really a thing. So, okay, here you have, looks like to be a volume slider. So this is a volume slider right here. And then you got a headphone jack and a dedicated microphone jack as well, which is nice. And then you got an SD card slot. And then you have a micro SD card slot as well. So you have a full-size SD card slot and a micro SD card slot. And that's all on the front. So that's quite a bit of ports there on the front. Then on the left side you have an AC adapter jack, and then you get two, this is 2 USB 2.0 ports right there. And then you get a dedicated, this is a dedicated wireless switch. So you get a hardware wireless switch here as well. So that's all pretty nice. A lot of ports on that side as well. Then on the right side you get a dedicated VGA port, right? Full-size VGA. And you got the power button right here, or the power switch. And then another USB port, making 3 in total. And then this one is actually, is this actually interesting? So I think this might be, this is an optical out port. I'm not exactly too sure. Looks like some kind of optical out port. So that would be pretty rare. I don't really see those on laptops. But if anyone knows, let me know. I don't actually, not too sure what this port is. Is it an optical out or something? Anyways, that's a pretty interesting port. And then this one is, is this a, let's see. It is an RF antenna. Wow, that's cool. So look at this. There's an antenna that comes out here. So, interesting. Okay, I'm not sure exactly what this port is. And then this is an RF antenna. Is this to connect to TVs and stuff? I think back in around this time period, Asia, especially Korea and Japan, had a lot of portable TVs. So I think this might be this could actually be used to pick up signals, right? I'm not sure if it can be used as a TV, but it looks like it does have an antenna here to pick up maybe TV signals or radio signals or something. Anyways, that's pretty cool, right? It has a RF antenna right here to pick up radio signals or TV signals or something. And then you have a Ethernet right here, of course, wired. So that's all hidden behind that flap here. wouldn't actually even know that it was there if I didn't do that. But yeah, that's some pretty interesting stuff right there. Interesting. So yeah, this is a Japan-only laptop, so maybe I shouldn't be too surprised, but a lot of Japan laptops have some pretty unique features, and Korean laptops from that time period as well, because portable TVs was actually a thing in Asia. It wasn't really a thing in America and Canada, but it's actually a thing in Asia. And then, so you do have a removable battery right here. I think that's the only thing of note on the bottom. So this is locked mode, so I just gotta unlock it, and then you can remove it like so. So again, most laptops back then had removable batteries. It's kind of a shame we don't have that anymore. Alright, so that's all the features ports wise. And then this display. So yes, this display is really kind of special. First of all, let's go over what it does. So this one is actually a convertible display, so we can swivel it just like with a lot of other convertible laptops from back in the day. It's a swivel form factor convertible. And then you got the mouse right here, so you got mouse cursor right there, so you can operate like this in tablet mode, right? And then you got a webcam right here. So webcam, you got mouse cursors. This runs Windows 7, and this is an optical sensor, so very similar to some of the UMPCs and netbooks that I've already looked at. This has an optical sensor, and then when this is in tablet mode, it operates very similar to like a UMPC or netbook. You would just use it like this, use the mouse clicker like this. I think even though this is a touchscreen, this might be a touchscreen. Even if this was a touchscreen, maybe they found this a little bit more convenient than just touching the screen. Alright, so yeah, controls on this side. This is like a tab switcher, I guess, multi-window switcher, so it's just tabbing through the different windows. This is to adjust brightness, and this is the optical sensor. Like I said, is to control the tablet in tablet mode, right? This computer, right, in tablet mode. And then this is a fingerprint sensor. So not a lot of netbooks actually had fingerprint sensors, so this is actually interesting. Maybe it means that this was actually meant more for business users as well, because usually back then in 2010, fingerprint sensors would only come on business notebooks. They were not very common on consumer laptops back then, right? They didn't start becoming popular on consumer laptops until I would say around 2016, right? But before then, which is actually pretty recently, but before then, yeah, fingerprint sensors were only on business laptops, so that's pretty interesting. So yeah, this computer is super rare, and one of the reasons is because it's an Onkyo laptop. So Onkyo isn't really known for making computers, right? When people think of Onkyo, they probably think of audio equipment or video equipment, like receivers and amplifiers, right? Speaker systems, stuff like that. Usually AV equipment, right? So when people think of Onkyo, they think of, yeah, that kind of stuff. They don't think about laptops and computers because Onkyo doesn't really make that stuff. So the fact that this is an Onkyo laptop, that in itself is pretty rare, right? Like how many Onkyo laptops have you seen, right? So that's pretty interesting. And then specs wise, this comes with AMD Athlon Neo processor. You know how it works. Yeah. So this comes with an AMD Athlon Neo processor. So that's actually pretty interesting as well. It's got a 10.1 inch screen, 1024 by 600 TFT display, Windows 7 Home Premium, 1 gig of RAM, 160 gig hard drive, ABG, and Wi-Fi. Yeah, Athlon Neos, you don't really see those kind of processors very often. So I think that is a dual core processor. I can check to be sure, but it's not a very common processor, so I'm not exactly sure, but I think it's a dual core. It's probably equivalent to like a Pentium dual core, I believe. But yeah, let's turn this computer on. All right. Yep, it's turning on. Okay. Onkyo, yes. How often do you see an Onkyo laptop? That in itself is very rare. So I think, and the fact that this is limited only to Japan. So this is definitely, along with the Toshiba Libretto W100, probably my rarest computers. So this runs Windows 7 Home Premium. This is a TFT display, so I have to tilt it to get the proper viewing angle. Alright, so yeah, this is the Onkyo DX running Windows 7 Home Premium, And as you can see, I can use either the optical sensor on the side here. This is for when it's in tablet mode, and I can use the clicky buttons right here. That all works. Right, so when you're in tablet mode, I guess they would prefer. Actually, this is not a touchscreen, huh? Okay. Well, if it's not a touchscreen, then that makes sense, right? So it's not a touchscreen, so that's why they have these buttons up here. So this is for operation in tablet mode. When you switch it into the convertible mode, then you gotta use these controls since it's not a touchscreen. Or you can use the touchpad and operate it as a normal laptop. Okay, so here's the interesting thing about this computer. Okay, so say I'm on Chrome and I'm looking at YouTube or something like that, and say I open another tab and I'm reading the news. This is running still kind of a slow processor. It's kind of the equivalent of a Pentium dual core, so still might be a little bit laggy. This is a netbook from 2010 and has netbook internals, so keep that in mind. Alright, and then let's open Windows Explorer. Okay, so let's say like I'm browsing something on YouTube, or I'm looking at the news, and I also want to do something else, right? I want to multitask. Maybe I'm listening to music on Windows Media Player or something like that, right? So okay, let's do that. Oh, okay. Anyways, let's say we're multitasking, right? So the interesting thing about this computer that no other computer that I've ever seen does is watch this, okay? So this display, right? Look at this. So yes, if you want to multitask, you actually have two displays here. So yeah, we have another display here. We can just move Windows Explorer here. Maybe we're organizing some files over here. Maybe we're listening to some music over here. Heck, maybe we're watching the news at the same time, and we're also watching a YouTube video at the same time. Okay. Now I know this is slow because this is an old processor. That's a netbook processor, but the design and concept of this is pretty unique, right? I mean, what other computer that you've seen on the market before or since have done something like this, right? I know there's a few computers that I think the ThinkPad, what is it? One of the ThinkPad models, it's like the 40 or something, W40 or something like that. One of them had like a pull-out screen from the side as well, but that was also an old computer, and I don't think that Lenovo has ever tried it since. And I don't know any other company that has been doing something like this. I guess Razer, they did a prototype with the Razer Valory project, and they have a triple screen thing going on, but that was just a prototype, and that never made it to production. I don't know any other production laptops since that have done something like this, right? And this is really kind of unique, and it's also very useful as well, right? So with all the multitasking things going on these days, with the Surface Duo, with the Galaxy Fold, all these folding phones and stuff, why don't people think about multitasking on their laptops, right? Have people ever thought about laptop design as well? I know there's the ZenBook Duo, right? So the ZenBook Duo I actually did a review on. They have the screen down here and stuff. That's still not as useful as having it side by side. Or, that's the reason why people use ultra-wide monitors. Like me, I use an ultra-wide monitor for work. So I have a big, very, very wide display, so I can put multiple windows here. And I can be more productive that way, right? Whether I'm programming, or maybe I'm listening to music, watching a video, doing something else, writing an email, something, right? So I just think that this way is more productive, right? I know there's the Asus Zephyrus Duo, ZenBook Duo, whatever, they have another screen down here. That's not as useful to me as just having it side by side like this, right? This to me is still the better design. So it's really interesting why Onkyo, a company not even known for making laptops or computers, has a computer like this, right, that no other computer manufacturer has ever tried since. So this is really, it's really unique, it's really interesting. I don't know why. Yeah, like this is just really useful, right? Like, yeah, sure, I want to multitask. Now you can really multitask with two displays. This one is just acting as an extension of this one. And yeah, even, I don't know, man. There's no other manufacturers ever tried this design. It seems like only Onkyo and Kojinsa. Kojinsa actually tried this as well, but I've been unable to get a hold of any Kojinsa laptops either because they're also really rare. But yeah, this is just a super interesting design and very unique design. No other computer manufacturers tried it. And of course, since this is a convertible, sorry, this is a TFT screen. But since it's a convertible, yes, you can even convert it into a tablet or even stand mode like this, right? Convert it into stand mode, why not? You can lay it down flat even, right? Just have it like that. This is pretty interesting. So yeah, just a really cool, interesting design that no other computer maker has ever really tried. This dual screen design and convertible design. So if they made one modern day with, you know, better specs, better displays, you know, using OLED or IPS displays, this could actually work, and this display will be even thinner. Keep in mind that Onkyo did this in 2010 using TFT displays, TFT technology, and which means since it's not OLED, you know, they can't really make it as thin, and the bezels and stuff are still pretty big. But imagine if a modern computer manufacturer did something like this, they could make it a lot better, right? So I don't understand, you know, why no one has ever thought about that. So I don't know. This is just a really cool design, and also what makes this computer really special and unique. It's not just because it's Onkyo, right? It's not just because Onkyo is a AV equipment maker and somehow they made a netbook like this. But yeah, it's just the idea of it, right? It's the multitasking and everything. The fact that it's so rare, it was only available in Japan. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's a crazy, unique, interesting design that I really wish other manufacturers would take note of. But unfortunately, I've only ever seen it on this computer. So this is the Onkyo DX, guys. This is such an interesting computer. Very unique design. Never seen it anywhere else. Of course, I can also use my optical nub right here, and you know, it works on this display as well. Yeah, not a touch display would also be pretty cool if it was touch as well. But yeah, I really, you know, it would be really interesting to see if a modern manufacturer comes back to this design. But for some reason, no other manufacturer has thought about it, right? It's interesting. So maybe they think it's hard, but it should actually be easier with today's technology. So Onkyo did this in 2010, not even a computer maker, right? They don't have any advantage of modern technologies with thin OLED displays and thin bezels. They don't have any of that, and they did this with netbook specs as well. So you're saying, oh, you need a lot of power to run two displays, to power two displays. This is using netbook specs, right? AMD Athlon Neo processor. It's not even using like heavy duty specs even for the time. It's using netbook specs, and it's powering two displays, right? Just how incredible is that? And they managed to fit this in a netbook sized computer. So just really unique, right? Never seen any other computer like that. So that's just what I wanted to show, and that's why this computer, this one and the Toshiba Libretto, remains the jewels of my collection. Because not only are they incredibly rare, but they're also incredibly unique, that I've never really seen any other manufacturer come to do something like that, right? I mean, the Libretto, yes, the Microsoft Surface Neo is coming out. The Acer Iconia did it too. But it's still a very unique laptop or netbook, right? So both of these are real incredible netbooks, very rare, very unique. And again, if you guys have any questions or comments about the Onkyo DX or the Toshiba Libretto W100, both incredibly unique netbooks. Both came out 10 years ago, 2010, back when phone design and computer design was more creative, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments section below what else you guys want to see. Because to me, these two are my two rarest and most unique computers in my collection. So that's it, guys. If you like my videos, please subscribe. If you like this video, please like it. And as always, thanks for watching.